Welcome to jail.
You know those diapers.
Sing Justin Bieber.
Only got 2 left. Hey, Luke. Okay, stand on 1 foot for 30 seconds and make bird noises. Hi there. My name is Pastor Rocky Havda. I am the youth pastor at First Covenant Church here in Wilmer, Minnesota. I have been here for close to 4 years now. I was youth pastor in Uppsala, Minnesota for the 8 years prior to being here. So I have a little bit of experience with youth. One of the events that I started doing back in the day, probably in 2000, was an event called Fifth Quarter. And we started doing special events right after the football games, thus Fifth Quarter, and inviting the kids up to the church, having free food for them, having different games and stuff, which I'll be talking about a little bit, and just different things for them to do to try and keep them off the streets. One of the big reasons why we started doing this is for that reason. When I was in a smaller town, there was a lot of issues and problems with kids going out and partying and drinking, and the reason that they had for going to do that is they just didn't have anything else better to do. And I could understand that there really isn't a lot to do when you don't even have a stoplight in your town. So we would have this event and just open it up to any senior hires that wanted to come. And I can remember the first few fifth quarters that I did here in this area. We had probably 30, 40 kids, mostly our own kids and some of their friends that would come for events. And we were able to just get together and play. We would play night ultimate frisbee, but it's at night with glow sticks and light up frisbees. We'd be able to play outside, have a bonfire, and have food for kids to be able to eat. So that was kind of the start of it. About 4 years ago when we started doing that, had about 30, 40 kids that would come to it. Well, after the first few, the word kind of got out, and by the end of the first year, we had probably about 80 to 90 senior hires coming to Fifth Quarter, which was really cool. We were able to have a lot more people during our games.
I really like when we play Santa. There's a lot of good times laughing and tripping in the dark, falling over people and hiding in weird places and then getting the crap scared out of you. When people scare you, it's scary. That was always my favorite. We don't play that much anymore. I think it's just got to be too many people because there's close to 200 kids here for most of them, and that's, if you've ever played Santa, that's a lot of kids to hide, and I don't know, it'd be hard, but Diaper Wars is pretty fun.
We've kind of created some new games. One of the games that we created was based off of a game that I learned back when I was in high school called Diaper Wars, where we'd roll up. I don't have any on hand, but maybe you saw them flying around earlier. But they're just diapers rolled up in duct tape. So they become somewhat hard projectiles, but when you get hit by them, they don't hurt that bad. So that's kind of like Capture the Flag as well, where you'd split the church, have an upstairs and downstairs team, and kids were given diapers as ammunition to chuck at each other. You know, it's just a lot of fun games. And we've seen our fifth quarters grow from humble beginnings of 30 to 40 kids to averaging probably 180 to 220 high schoolers that come every Friday night that we have a fifth quarter. Like I said, we started them after a football game. So during the football season, we'll usually have 3 or 4 over the course of 2 months that students are able to come be a part of. And then what we started doing a year ago is to make them throughout the entire year. So we have a fifth quarter every month throughout the entire year, even though there's not always a fifth quarter per se after a game. We just have a Friday night each month where we do that. It's a great event, and the only way that it can be a great event is tons of volunteers, people that contribute and help to make it possible. I send out an email and text and messages usually the week or 2 in advance, trying to get parents and leaders to donate food. For instance, this last Friday night we had 20 Little Caesars pizza, a bunch of Papa Murphy's, and then cookies and bars and soda, and it all gets ate. Kids come in, I'm not sure if they get fed at home, but they're always hungry. But we'll make taco in a bag, we'll do sloppy joes, but it's always free, and we want to keep it free. We don't ever want to charge for this event because it really is an outreach event. We're not about preaching a message. The message is preached in our actions. The message is preached in just the fact that we're housing an event, providing a safe atmosphere, and a good place for kids to be able to come hang out with their friends, have fun, let off some steam, run around, be crazy, play some Foursquare, play some SWAT, play some dodgeball. And you maybe also saw our wall of pictures that we have down in the hallway. That's a new thing we added this year, and as each month goes on, we add a new batch of pictures, and it's really fun for the kids to be able to see themselves up on the wall and be able to add some of their pictures as well to that. But back to the leaders. It's kind of a tough event to get a lot of parents to come help with because of the fact that it's from 9 to 12. And generally I'm here till 1:30 with a few of the leaders and stuff, picking up and cleaning up after the event is done, trying to get the church cleaned up for Sunday morning. But we have a loyal group of fifth quarter leaders that have stepped up that are pretty much our regulars at every fifth quarter now. And you figure if we have around 200 kids, we need to have 10 to 15 leaders usually, just to be eyes and ears and just kind of be there for kids, help with pickup, help with running different games and events. And we have that, and it's great, and I think that's the reason why it keeps growing. Our next step in the process is, well, it's just the simple fact that we're grown out of our building. We don't have a lot more places where we can run and do stuff, and the church recognizes that, and it's really cool. So we're getting a new facility built hopefully in the next year or two, so we can expand and make it even bigger. But fifth quarters have been a joy to me. It's been a great opportunity to get to know a lot of new kids.
It's a chance for me to get to hang out with my really close friends from Wilmer, which is most of my really close friends. I don't hang out with a lot of kids from my school just because we have a lot of differences, and I found a really close connection with a lot of people in Wilmer. And so to have a chance like fifth quarter where it's every single group that I hang out with all together in one place is really cool for me to be able to have that. And it's a really fun time. We get to play a lot of different games, and there's always free food and free drinks. And it's just a really good fellowship time, a time for people who maybe don't come to church to come to church and see that we're not boring. Christians can be fun, and I really like the outreach part of it too.
I would encourage you, if you are at a church somewhere, to tell your youth pastor, let them know to start up fifth quarters. It's a great opportunity to build some great relationships and also provide a way out and a good time for kids to keep them from doing things that maybe they shouldn't be doing. So that's kind of fifth quarters, and don't know what else I can really say about it other than they're a lot of fun.
And our youth pastor Rocky is just awesome. He does a really great job with all the kids, and he just gives everybody something to look forward to once a month on Fridays.